Hi, folks. This is Jamie, one of the voices you will be hearing. Just wanted to let you know that we have not quite started, which is probably why you have not yet heard audio. But if you can confirm that you can hear me now, that would be great. And then we will get started in just a few minutes. If you can type a yes or a sure or a thumbs up or something, question section.
Give us a 1 in the chat. Yeah, just type 1. Let's see. We can also check and make sure the one's working or the chat's working.
Oh, looks like we have a 1 at the very least.
We have a 1. Cool.
All right, we will be back with you in just a few minutes, folks.
Question. Is that in questions? You saw that? Oh yeah, not hearing audio, not hearing audio. Okay, cool. I feel like we should be playing some music to pump them up, Jamie.
We can certainly do that.
Okay. Jamie, can you still hear me?
I can.
Cool. All right.
I believe that we are still broadcasting, however.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Let's test out the webcams, yeah?
Sure.
Okay, cool. That always gives it a nice personal feel. I even borrowed my my partner's her little influencer light here. This is, it's a fancy thing. It's like a online influencer. They use this for the social medias.
That's
See if I
very
can get that
impressive.
working.
That is much more professional than what I've got going on.
Yeah, it's probably. There we go. Cool. It's even a little high. There, that's better. Cool.
And folks, if you didn't hear before, we will be starting in just a few minutes. We're just waiting for folks to join, and we'll start at the top of the hour.
Yeah. Let me get myself a little glass of water. How's the weather in Seattle?
Bright and sunny. Can't complain. This is the one time in the year that it actually pays to be in Seattle.
Nice. For those of you who are here and are listening now, so Jamie is in Seattle. I'm in Sydney, yeah, he has really nice sunny weather right now, and we have ironically cold. It hasn't been too rainy lately, but and I don't mind the rain either, because hoping for that to keep the bushfire season mild this year, hopefully.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, it was tough down there.
Yeah. Just what a year. Okay, starting in 1 minute. Ready? I'm pumped for this. I'm really excited about this. That was fun. We just did the walkthrough just a little while ago, and it went really well. Jamie had some really good metaphors to go along with all the hard data. No, you're really good at that. It's something that you're actually like, yeah, it was really good stuff about like the physical store walkthrough and stuff. It's really cool. All right, well, I got top of the hour should we go ahead and start?
Yeah, we can go ahead
Yeah.
and start. Anyone who
All
shows
right.
up can show up, and
Awesome. Great. Yeah, we've got a ton of signups and attendees right now. So really excited about this. All right, been waiting for this all week. Finally, it's come, our webinar. We're going to be talking about some really exciting data that we have on meeting e-commerce customer expectations for search. So welcome, search engine journal crowd. Welcome everybody else who's here, who signed up. A ton of signups for this, and super excited. Some incredible stats that you're going to see today, and then also just some really simple, not necessarily easy to do, but simple things that your customers are expecting that are driving growth, like tons of growth. So I won't tease too much. I'll just start off with the old traditional introduction. I'm Jeff Deutsch, the marketing director here, and that's Jamie. Say hi, Jamie.
hey.
Jamie used to be at Moz, so he knows a lot about search, knows a lot about experience, customer experience. So he's going to give you a lot of great insights today. Just some housekeeping. If you have questions, ask them. One of us will be monitoring. I guess while Jamie's talking, I'll monitor, and while I'm talking, he'll monitor. Does that work for you, Jamie? And then, this webinar is recorded, so we'll send it out after you're done. But yeah, we're expecting a lot of really good questions, so throw them at us. And yeah, talk to us. So there's the URL. If you want to talk to us, go to longtailux.com/shopping. We'll put that up at the end so you can see that. What you're going to see today is probably going to be a lot of new information. So you're going to want to know how that applies to your exact website. So hit us up, talk to us. And this is what we're here for today, is we're here to talk about capturing more of this once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, we've got a shift now to online that we've never seen in our lives. Nobody expected this due to COVID-19. Growing 5 times faster online sales than expected this year. That's a 77% year-on-year growth. So that's why you're here. You want to know, what are these customers expecting, and how do I capture more of them so that I can be the hero? And decades later, when we look back on the history of my company, they're going to say, wow, it was so great that that Rich implemented that during that important time, and got it up to speed so fast. Why? Because it saved us.
And I think, Jeff, before we dive too far in, I just want to make sure that we recognize that there may be some of you out there who are business owners or C-suite executives who may be thinking about this in the broadest possible terms for your companies, and there could be specialists on the phone that are looking at this in boxes more. How does this apply specifically to me? We're hoping that this has something for everyone in that group, but we'll try to balance those things out with very specific, tangible, more tactical efforts, but also sort of broader topics that will really focus on how do you get the business overall to be more successful.
Yeah, this presentation is about business growth. Like, make no mistake, it's about revenue growth. It's about capturing demand and doing it measurably. So that's what you're here for. That's what you want to see. There's enough tech to keep the techie people interested, but yeah, overall, it's mostly about the strategy and how do you do this. So what you want to know probably next is, how much actual revenue should I be getting that I'm not getting due to this spike? So we made a little tool for this. It's a free tool. Go there now, scorecard.longtailux.com, and it's going to show you actually how much revenue and market share you could be acquiring if you did the things that we show you today. So this is a technical analysis, but it displays it in kind of simple form. It uses your GA, so it's actually it's actually showing your insights, and it's also going to show you ROI and how you can increase that ROI. What we're going to talk about today is mostly on this non-brand side. So people who are not aware of your brand yet, but they're looking for products that you sell, because that's how we divide and measure ROI at Longtail UX. So that's how you should do it as well. And that's where the growth is going to come from. And it even shows you, for you technical people, it'll show you which pages you should be fixing first. So the top 100 pages that you should be fixing, and what customers are searching for that you're already paying for to acquire those customers, but you could be getting that growth just from doing the stuff that we show you today. Just very simple stuff. So the process here, walk you through. Just go to scorecard.longtailux.com, put in your details, go get my scorecard, get your Google account, connect, choose which account you want to see the revenue uplift for, and then access my scorecard. Should be an e-commerce website, and then put in your brand. That way, if you put in your brand, that's how we can actually tell you how many new customers you could be acquiring. So if you don't put that in there, it's not going to show you that, but go ahead and do that. All right, the big K on the top right corner is for Jamie Cantor. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Jamie, to talk first about the new e-commerce customer and the research that we've got here.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Jeff. And
Yeah.
I want to be clear that a point that Jeff made about this being a really unique, once in a lifetime opportunity, that's not lip service. I mean, weirdly, this is the time when a lot of us are doing things that we never thought we'd do. For example, I have my COVID haircut, which is me allowing my wife to sort of just do whatever she wants up here. I didn't think I would allow that before it had to happen. And so I will apologize that I'm less kempt than I was previously in that.
Did you buy your shaver online too? I bought my shaver online. True story. Yeah.
I bought some refills online.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Rather than showing up at the store.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, I think, about this time, and one of the things that research has shown us is that there is a new e-commerce customer. There are actual people that never really bought before that are suddenly in play for you and your businesses, and that's really cool if you do it right. So what do we need to know about these customers? About 74% of them, or 3/4, are buying items they usually wouldn't buy online. Now, obviously, some of that is going to be just by necessity, right? People are buying groceries online that maybe didn't before. Maybe they're getting prescriptions online that they didn't before. But when you think about the fact that so many stores have closed down, so much of the brick and mortar business has gone away and has shifted into online, you've got a relatively captive audience that hadn't been buying stuff that you sell before online, but may now want to engage with you online. Now, that's great because that sets you up for incredible market growth. It's growing at 5 times, and you're getting, 3/4 of these folks are brand new to the marketplace.
Jamie, just 1 second. I'm going to hide my notifications so you don't see my Slack messages come through real quick, guys.
That's fair. It could be really interesting.
Hey, look, whatever the audience wants to see, they can see. I'm an open book, but yeah, just don't want to distract them. Please continue.
We'll be diving into the photos during the Q&A section. So one thing to know about these shoppers, though, I take a little bit of offense at the fact that this is 45 plus because
we're getting close to that. We're both getting close to that.
But it's an older audience, right? These are people that may be less tech savvy than the folks that have traditionally been online, which makes sense, right? They might have grown up in a time where buying online wasn't something that was done. So the shift is occurring with folks that are new to this process, and many of those may be less tech savvy. But what that means is that they may also be less adept at navigating your site and maybe less apt to do things correctly, even if something isn't perfect. Your younger folks are probably going to understand how to navigate around the site, how to overcome issues. The older, less tech savvy folks may not.
Yeah. And I mean, I think everybody's pretty short attention span. Like we all expect to see when we look for a product, we expect to see a range of products that appeal exactly directly to me just based on my one need that I've specified. I'm just looking for this specific thing. Like we expect that. But yeah, you're right. Less tech savvy. And yeah, and that's, I mean, we've got 50, 60, 7-year-olds buying things online for the first time ever. Millions.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is perhaps the most fundamental, important issue that I would say we might raise today, which is that uh, in this survey, 43% of those folks that are buying online for the first time say that difficulty finding the item they need is their number one complaint about online shopping. So if you think about it, the one thing that will turn off these shoppers more than anything is making it hard for them to find what they want. So simplistically, what we're trying to do is make it easier to find the things that they want. Now that's obviously easier said than done, but we're
Mm.
going to talk through, okay, how do you solve for that and how do you improve the process to get to the item they need in that moment?
Yeah.
And then how
And
do you delight them?
what's crazy is this has nothing to do with Google. Almost nothing to do with Google. It's all about what happens after the click.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Google's trying to do their best.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might not always be the best for you, but they're
Yeah.
trying to do their best.
Mm-hmm.
And here is something that I would stress to you. 80% in a survey that we ran, 80% said they would be more likely to return to an online shop if that experience for them feels personalized. So you've got this market that is moving toward online at a ridiculously fast pace. You've got a bunch of these new folks that have never bought online. Their big thing is just show me what I need to see so that I can fill the need I have. And they say, yes, I would absolutely become a customer for life if that first experience that I have is actually personalized to me. So you have this perfect opportunity, sort of, the table is set for you. It's just a matter of what do you do to capture and delight those customers.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Is first touch personalization. This is surprisingly a new thing in our industry. And when you talk about e-commerce or even search, it's something that's really new, even though it goes back to the days of 1998 when Jeff Bezos was one of the first people to realize that if we can make the customers feel a deep loyalty to us because we know them so well, they're gonna keep on coming back again and again and again. If we can personalize their shopping experience, and of course, Amazon does this with lots of data. They have so much data about you and your browsing habits, what you're interested in, and what other people buy as well. But that's different from what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is personalizing when you don't know anything about the customer except for what they're looking for. That's the trick, right? And this is what customers want. And they say 40% say, look, I'll spend more money if you can just personalize my experience. And 71% said, if it feels impersonal, I'm probably not going to buy. And that's because we are not doing a good enough job in e-commerce yet of personalizing their visit the first time that they visit. So, and that's what shops do really well. So this is the thing that's the biggest shift after COVID that's been happening is, yes, sales are moving online, but trying to recreate that in-store experience on your website, especially when it's a customer who's just come in, just walked in the door for the first time, just landed on the first landing page. That's really hard to do. So if you take, for example, what are we looking for when we go into a store? If you take, for example, if I'm looking for shampoo and I'm in the mall and I go to the Body Shop, it's a great store. They're known for a great customer experience. So I go to the shopkeeper and I tell Kendra, like, I want some shampoo, and she looks at me and says, okay, kind of going gray, a little bit dry, maybe need some moisturizing shampoo. I'm going to take him to that section where there's moisturizing shampoos for gray hair, right? And I'm going to be delighted by that experience. I'm going to be delighted by her showing me exactly the part of the store that has the exact solution to my immediate need. I don't want to be distracted. I don't want to talk about anything else, just my immediate need. And that's the three things they're looking for. And these are the three things we have to recreate online. So we're going to show you that. But first, I want to make sure that you understand what needs to be delivered by the landing page. So in a physical store, you're looking for a store with products in stock that solve my problem. It has to solve my problem right now, my immediate problem. And we're also looking for knowledgeable staff who can direct us to the section of the store with only those products. And we want a pleasant buying experience. Those are the three things that we want when we walk into a store. And those are the three things that your customers want when they land on your website for the first time. They don't want to land on a general page or a category page. They want to land on the page that has all the products that can fix their pain right now. And if you look at what we're doing, oh, go ahead, yeah, Jamie.
I just wanted to say what's fascinating about this is that in the real world, if you were to go into a store and these things weren't there, you would be eminently frustrated. You would never go back to a store that didn't deliver this. Yet we consistently deliver that experience online. And yet we don't have the same sort of reaction to that where we think like, oh, this person's never coming back because we're giving them a bad experience.
I mean, we don't see the emotional state of the customer when they're frustrated, but believe me, this is frustrating for customers. I mean, we're going to show you for shopping ads, which is, by the way, 76% of e-commerce paid budget goes to shopping ads for paid search. So this is a huge one. And yet it's 78% of the top 100 e-commerce sellers are not doing this right. What we're going to show you today, which is providing this experience that I just mentioned. And here's the experience that we're giving them for right now. Somebody's looking for moisturizing shampoo for gray hair. What do they get? A single product page, one product with lots of distractions and no other options. And if I don't want to buy this particular L'Oreal Siri Expert Silver shampoo, I'm not going to go and search on the website and see, oh, maybe they have more. I'm out. That's it. I'm gone. You got one shot and you wasted it. And we still get ROI from shopping ads, but man, you could get so much more if you just did this one thing. If you just gave different options to people that still meet their immediate need. So Jamie's going to show you some cases in a second that are just mind-blowing. But the research already told us this. I mean, the research says that when you give this kind of experience where there's only one option for them to buy, 48% worse performance. It's 48%. So that's wasting 48% of your budget if you're not doing the three things that we're going to show you. That the three laws of these, smart pages, which are our alternative to this single product landing page experience. You can double your conversion rate just by doing this one thing. It's simple. It's not easy because the product matching is difficult. Making the page perfect, giving the perfect user experience. No, those things aren't easy, but they're simple, and it's simple to understand why we should be doing this. It's just more websites don't do it, more companies don't do this because it takes forever to do. It's hard to do, right? But here are the three laws of smart pages, okay? So if you're looking for something to kind of screenshot or some takeaways, here's your takeaways. First, you need to have multiple products on the page. That's not negotiable. And all those products must match the buyer's immediate need. So it can't be, this is kind of people buy it when you buy this, I also buy this, or, people who looked at this, they might have also looked at this. That doesn't cut it because somebody who also looked at something else, they had other needs. They're not me. Okay, what's me? Me is the thing I told you, which is I'm looking for moisturizing shampoo for gray hair. That's what I want. And there has to be multiple products that are visible above the page fold. And Jamie's going to show you some stats, some crazy stats about why that has to be. But those three things, if all your pages aren't doing this, your landing pages aren't doing this, you really need to be listening to the rest of this presentation with and just blocking out everything else. All right, and I'm going to give it over to Jamie to talk about, you know, the difference between these two types of pages.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, Jeff, I may disagree with Kendra at the body shop about your hair, but we'll leave it there. I
Appreciate
think
that.
it's a lovely head of hair.
Thank you.
But what we have seen actually, these are examples of Longtail UX customers and how they've adopted this smart page concept. So Adore Beauty is a beauty retailer, much like a Sephora. But essentially, they used to have these single product pages where in that same search we just talked about, they would show this one Wella Silver Blonde shampoo, and you would be able to buy that, or you might just say, no, that's not what I'm looking for, and you might just go back to Google and try again. In the new world where they have adopted these smart pages, that same search, moisturizing shampoo for gray hair, gets them actually to this page where you have multiple different products, all of which are optimized for moisturizing shampoo for gray hair. So you have all of your choices laid out. Now, we told you just a few minutes ago that if you have these multi-product pages, these smart pages, you should actually see conversion rates go up by almost 2 or by almost double. You should see better revenue, you should see lower costs. All of these things should happen if the research is right. Now, if we actually look at, sorry, my slide is not clicking through. If we look at what happened in fact with Adore Beauty, they created just under 2,600 of these smart pages, and they actually saw a 98% increase in conversion rate. So almost double the conversion. So you got people to the site, got them to buy. They actually purchased. And that accompanied a 64% decrease in the cost of acquisition of that customer. So suddenly you've reduced your costs, you've increased your conversion. That's kind of an ideal world for you. And all they had to do was implement those smart pages. Now,
Yeah,
as Beth mentioned,
and it's not. Sorry, I was going to say it's not that crazy if you think about it. I mean, if you know, I go to a store and there's only one product that, you know, I say I want that, and there's only one product in the whole store. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be a customer of that store. I mean, I want options to choose from that match what I want. Like, if you think about that again, if you put yourself into a store situation, it's not surprising. These numbers aren't surprising, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
Yeah.
that's what we've come to expect live, not necessarily online.
Yeah.
Now, another example here, if the gray hair shampoo doesn't apply to you, first, congratulations. Certainly important to me. But if electronics are more up your alley, you can look at Kogan.com. They are a huge Best Buy-like retailer in the Asia Pacific area. They had these single product pages as well and converted into smart pages. Here's one very specific search: mini DisplayPort to HDMI female adapter. Lots of qualities about these that might make that first one incorrect. Maybe you wanted a different length, a different brand, a different type, more ports, different color, different price point. All of those things may matter to you. But if you only see the one, you don't know that all of those qualities matter to you because you haven't seen any of the other qualities. Yet, if you implement that smart page, what you should see is that people will actually look around more, they'll buy more, they'll actually choose something because they understand that you're offering them all of the matches for the product search that they did. So you're really personalizing the experience, even though the only thing you know about them is mini DisplayPort to HDMI female adapter. You know they have one need, but you can solve that need in a lot of different ways, so do it. So with Kogan, what did we see? They created about 35,000 of these pages, which again, with automation is actually really easy, except really hard if you haven't been doing this full time for 8 years like we have. It takes a lot of tech work, a lot of development. We have actually pioneered this space and done this for a long time. I don't recommend you try this on your own, but you can. But what Kogan saw, 105% annual growth. That's enormous. That's huge. Any of us right now would sign a contract to say, yes, give me 105% annual growth, and then just stop, right? Like we would take that right now sight unseen. And they also happen to see over $20 million in new customer revenue. And this is pre-COVID, right? These are numbers that are mostly not from this recent online surge. This is from their own efforts before all of this blew up. So,
and now their share prices, share prices. I was just going to say, now their share price is quadrupled in the last 5 months, and they're taking out these traditional bricks and clicks or bricks and mortar competitors one by one, because they got this right first before anybody else. And not just us, but like lots of other personalization stuff. But that's the power. That's the power of it. Yeah. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
So getting back to those laws of smart pages, we're gonna hammer this home, and I won't apologize for this, but you're gonna see it a few times. Remember, multiple products on the page. They all need to match the buyer's immediate need. Remember that the number one frustration is I can't find what I need. Well, if you've got multiple things that they need, show them all. And you want those to be visible above the page fold. For anyone who has looked at websites, who has done any research on this, seen any of the eye tracking studies, etc., nothing happens below the fold. So let's look at that in slightly more depth. Why does it need to be visible above the fold? Another client of ours, Ambeth Magnetics, they sell magnets, which is great. So this is a very simple search, right? A red whiteboard clip. You can see that they have various options. Maybe they only have 3 red ones, and then they stick a blue one in there to sort of give you another option. But why does it matter that there are multiple products that you can see right when you click into this page? First, they are 116% more likely to scroll down the page. That's ridiculous, right? Just by having that sort of suggestion that there's something below the fold encourages them to actually scroll more because they know there's something down there. And
even just a hint of it, right? Even just a hint of the other items,
it increases the number of pages they visit. If you think about this out in a real store, right? If you go in and you are directed to a specific section that has to do with your immediate need, but then there are also adjacent sections that you can see while you're standing in that store, that helps you to understand, wow, there's more here that I might want to look at, which can explain some of the increased order value when you look at some of the studies that said this actually works and increases average order value. It's probably because they see that there's so much more available and they want to try it. So
and it's relevant to their immediate need too, that they know it's not just like other stuff that you want to sell me, right? You know, this is like, there's a good chance that it's down there. It's kind of like the Facebook effect. Like maybe if I scroll long enough, I'm going to see something that I like in my news feed.
But well, that's probably been limited.
It's probably right now,
but I think this, in a bricks and mortar store, this is, you can increase the foot traffic, but if the in-store experience isn't great, people aren't going to stick around. They're not going to walk around the whole store. They're not going to have as good of an experience as if they had just seen everything that they wanted to see and then been able to sort of wander around on their own.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I gave you a little teaser about what this does for shopping ads in particular. So we do something specifically for shopping ads for our clients. And I just wanted to show you guys, like, specifically for shopping ads, this is what you should be going for. So this is one of our clients, Outback's Camping. They have some of their customers are pretty advanced, like they're looking for a lithium power station here. Just having those other options available on the page, so huge. I mean, just having these 4 peeking over the top. And, we can talk about the requirements of Google Shopping ads, that you can only have the price on one. I mean, it doesn't matter. As long as you have those multiple products on there, you're gonna see results. And so what they saw when they implemented it, because of their technical audience, so to increase their return on ad spend by 500% and increase their conversion rate 300%, average order value, like Jamie was talking about, increased by 90%. And it's simply because when their customers do buy, they buy more because they like that there's so many options that match their immediate need. So this is key for shopping pages. You really need to have, for these shopping landing pages, this is the experience you need. And so I did some research, some very painstaking research on the top 100 e-commerce spenders in paid search. And it's crazy because you remember those 3 laws that we said, the smart page laws, only 22%, so get all 3 of those right, meaning 78% don't get them right. And we're talking about big brands, like some of them that had some not so great results recently. GNC, they had a big bankruptcy recently. This is it's just so low-hanging fruit. Someone is looking for vegan protein and you only give them this one option, which is a chocolate. But they have so many other different vegan proteins. They have lots of different flavors here, lots of different for people with different diets and lifestyles, gluten-free, organic. If they just were to match from vegan protein, the top matches semantically that match this thing that people are looking for on this page, they would have doubled their sales from shopping, which is crazy. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Same thing with Neiman Marcus, another recent bankruptcy. Good American Jeans. This is the example. This is what you get when you land on their website for Good American Jeans. Looks fine, right? But they have so many different designs, materials, and styles. They have distressed jeans, they have denim jeans, all that are good American. So why not put them on the page? Put a couple, just tease me and let me know that there's more options available. And this is again where it's simple, but it's not easy, right? You still need to match the items in your product feed to that search term. You have to do it in real time. You have to do it according to what inventory you have. You have to change the pricing, and there's lots of technical hurdles, but the simple part behind it, the reasoning is definitely there. And even Home Depot, I mean, this is just crazy that they're throwing money down the drain when you're searching for a corner desk and this is what pops up. You assume, a buyer's going to assume, the customer's going to assume that this is the only corner desk that they have available for this. They might scroll, but again, like Jamie said, they're 116% more likely to scroll if you just let them see the other matching corner desks, right? Because they have other colors, features, styles, the farmhouse style, which are completely different from this one. So, I mean, if I was looking for a white corner desk that had drawers in it, I'd be out of here. And they blew their one chance to get me as a lifelong customer. All right, so I'm gonna, I think this is you, right, Jamie?
Yep, it is.
Talk about selling it internally. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to acknowledge that we do have a few questions, which we will
Sure.
we will get to. So don't worry if we haven't answered your question. I'll try to get through this fairly quickly so we can get to those questions sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So one of the things we wanted to do with this is not just tell you like, hey, here's what you should be doing, or to say like, oh, you should be doing it with us. It's more about how do we equip you to do this, but also to get this sold internally. If you think this is a priority, which I hope we have made clear that it should be, you might need to have materials and thoughts as to how to get this sold internally, because you have stakeholders, whether those are your peers if you're in the C-suite, or if that's your boss or other peers throughout the organization. So number one, performance. The stuff just works. If you're thinking about an average ROI for folks that implement Smart Pages, looking at about a 7x return. That is huge. There aren't a lot of places that will offer you a 7x return. I mean, frankly, anything over 1 is worth it.
And this
right?
is, it's all new
it.
customers too, right? It's all new customers are the hardest ones to acquire, not repeat customers. Yeah, who already know your brand.
So this is improving that first touch experience for new customers. I think that's a great point. And then the conversion rates, you already saw it. You saw that these pages are converting at 98% increased conversion rates. On average, we're offering about 108% over those single product pages, and so that's a huge improvement and just much better conversion than what you may be seeing today. Sorry, if I click the wrong button, that's what happens. I just wanted to prove it. Second selling point is just urgency. Here's where I go with this. We know that this is accelerated 5x over what it was supposed to accelerate this year. So if you have not accelerated your e-commerce efforts at least 5x, you are behind. That's unfortunately the hard truth here, is that the market is accelerating at 5x. If you are not, you're behind. And if you think about how those bricks and click stores, or the brick and mortar sort of omni-channel efforts are going for some major retailers versus the pure play e-commerce players, the share prices, right? What every CEO in the world is going to care about that is at the helm of a public company, the share prices are going up at a ratio of 1 to 13. That means that pure play e-commerce companies are doing dramatically better in terms of share price appreciation. And we actually pulled out a few of these. And so if you look at the top bricks and clicks omni-channel providers, around a 14% increase in share price growth over the last year. If you look at the pure play e-commerce sites, the top 22 of those, 196% growth. So it's clear that e-commerce is dramatically being impacted here, but those folks that have made that shift to e-commerce or were just born in e-commerce have enjoyed the lion's share of the gains here.
Yeah, and the angle here is that, the pure plays you see, like Wayfair, great experience, like, because they realize that they have to delight the customer online. They have no other option, right? I mean, they have to do that. So I think selling this internally to say, we're closing stores, or we're not getting the revenue that we were getting in store or in our physical stores, we need to shift that online. Here's your argument here. That's 200% growth for the pure play ones, because they've been doing this personalization and first touch personalization they're trying to do since from the start.
Yep. Yeah, great point. Third and final selling point that we'll talk about, speed. Oftentimes what we hear is like, yeah, we're going to invest in a re-platform. We're going to switch our platform out, and that's how we're going to attack and be nimble and agile the next time that something happens. Well, an average time to re-platform is around 1.5 years. If you, and that's a reasonable expectation. Going live with Smart Pages and some of the stuff that we've been talking about is about 2 weeks. And if we think about the time that we sit in right now in mid-August, you've got Black Friday coming up in just over 3 months. You've got Christmas just over 4 months. So when you think about that, if you're trying to prepare for this holiday season, there's one good way to do that, to actually take advantage of all of the stuff that we've been talking about. Or you could plan on a re-platform and sort of prepare for three winter seasons, 3 holiday seasons from now, and be ready for 2022, because a re-platform is going to take that long to really kick in and start paying dividends, whereas Smart Pages can do that in weeks. And here's how we can tell you that. This is kind of the approach we take. I won't go too deep into this because I do want to get to the questions, but 10 to 14 days. That's how quickly we can start these Smart Pages for you. And it's because, frankly, not that it's easy. It's because we've been doing this for 8 years. We have the team ready to do the research. We have the team ready to do the development. We have the team ready to implement and customize the automation for you.
Yeah, and it's all we do.
Yeah, and we do it uniquely, right? We're the only ones who can do this. You can see we have patents in multiple countries for website traffic optimization. Also in landing page generation, we've got patents, so we are uniquely poised and ready to do this. Here is kind of the stuff that we'll leave up here in case you need to reach out to us. If you want a demo, if you want to talk to us directly, longtailux.com/shopping. If you want to forecast, Jeff went through this earlier, scorecard.longtailux.com. And now we will actually dive into some of these questions. I think there are some good ones. One of these, which I'll dive into, is a challenge where this type of page can sometimes be known for cannibalization from an SEO perspective. And how we tackle that. I'll speak to this one, Jeff, since I come from the world of SEO.
Please do. Absolutely.
There are two ways we tackle this. One is the research that we do on each and every customer. It's customized. We look at the keywords where our customers potentially rank and don't rank. And so anything that you're already ranking for is sort of off limits to us. We will not touch it. We won't do anything to it. So that's one. Two, there's quality control. We don't publish anything without buy-in from the customer. So if there's an area you don't want us to play, or if there's something you don't want us to do, you can tell us and we will avoid that. Or if we suggest doing it, you just say, nope, we're crossing that one out. You've got the line item veto. And finally, what we're really going after are unique combinations of keywords that have not been broached before. So hopefully what we would do is expand and broaden the pages rather than the things you've already thought about. Our goal would be to go deeper than that and broader than that, so that we're finding a set of keywords that would have nothing to do with what you've done before, so that we're truly bringing in new customers.
You'll actually see that in the scorecard. When you do the scorecard, you'll see the actual things people are searching for that that your page is not optimized for. So go and run it, and you'll actually see exactly the types of. I mean, it's automated, so obviously there's some human review of those, a lot of human review, and we work with our clients on that to say, yeah, these are kind of off limits, but do these 1,000 or these 5,000 or these 10,000. Because we haven't, like those ones, we just haven't had any solution for them in the past. That's where we kind of step in the long tail. Yeah.
And then Jeff, a question maybe for you. So
yeah.
A couple of folks have noted that the single product pages still exist for the websites, like for an Adore Beauty. You can still get to that single product page. So
yes.
Are we suggesting that essentially we should block the single product page from being indexed so that the category pages are the only thing that are available for that service?
This is getting really popular now. Actually, there's been a lot of what is it called? Yeah, cutting page. I can't remember the technical term for it, but it came up recently. Again, it'll come to me. Pruning, content pruning. Yeah, and actually, yeah, it's a good idea to do content pruning, especially on like zombie pages that just don't get any traffic. That don't get any search traffic. But John Mueller said a couple months ago, actually, no, it's a couple years ago, I think 2018, he said that less pages, less good pages is better than bloat, than lots of more, bad pages or more pages that don't serve. And just, I think the key here is, again, to get into the mind of the customer and say, look, if I'm looking for a moisturizing, for moisturizing shampoo for gray hair or for a 52-inch curved screen TV. I don't just want to see one. I mean, think about it from the customer's perspective. You don't want to just see one. You want options. And maybe actually what you search for isn't exactly what you want, but other people have searched for that, and semantically it's related. So that's where the machine learning comes in, that part of the patent where it actually looks at how people search and what things actually track to those items, and then looking for similarities in your product feed. That's what's so difficult about doing this, is doing that matching and the actual tech of like implementing the pages themselves. So yeah, content pruning is a big deal. I know, for example, like we, have talked to Canva, where only something like 10% of their pages are indexed. Walmart, 25%. So why keep those 75% around if that's going to be just bloat that is going to confuse spiders and send them into no man's land? Definitely look, like, this is a technical SEO thing, but look at your logs and see what pages are not getting traffic, from searching, and
but if you
de-index them.
can speak to for a moment, if you have a smart page that has, let's say, 10 products on it, which you've optimized to go from Google to that product list, right? A page that has these 10 items. What happens then when you click into any one of those 10 items? Are you still able to access that product detail page that I'm sure a lot of these folks have? Are you still able to access that, and you're still able to get that?
Yeah, of course. You just no index it, no follow it. I mean, that's what we do with with shopping pages, which only exist to be landing pages for shopping. We're not trying to get those indexed unless they want to, unless our clients want to. But yeah, if you have a page whose sole purpose is to be a landing page for paid search or for some other, like a Facebook social campaign, there's no point in indexing that or trying to index it. It's in the long run, it's going to be bad for your website, because you're not going to get the stuff indexed that actually is going to get the customer experience where where Google is going to see that behavior is really positive, and yeah, this is a great experience. I'm going to definitely send more people this page. Bounce rates matter. Time on page matters. All that stuff matters. Click-through rates matter. So yeah, be careful about what you index.
And real quick, I know we're running up against time, but we did get a question about how this worked for mobile, if you're buying on a phone.
Yeah. So for mobile, the best option, often you don't have enough real estate on there to show multiple products, but at least putting at the top that there is, X number of products, or at least having a little bit of the next product peeking up from the bottom will do the same thing. It has the same effect, and people are used to scrolling on mobile. So yeah, just letting them know that those products are there. And then of course the products have to be ranked in exactly the order of relevance from top to bottom. That's exactly most relevant to that search that they did, to the search term that they did. If you don't get that, and then the second item on there, it's it's not as relevant, or it's not in stock, or it's not what people are looking for, that that counts as to that 43% of people who say that that's their number one gripe about e-commerce today.
Yeah, and I think to that point, the newer customer that we talked about, sort of the nascent customer in this market who hasn't really purchased online before and is trying this out for the first time, the likelihood that they are trying to buy on a small screen on mobile, probably much lower than they will be sitting at a desktop or a laptop, maybe even an iPad, but more likely than not, they're not going to be purchasing on a mobile device.
But it works for both. Yeah, I mean, it's the same concept. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I think we've gotten through at least the majority of the questions, and I know we're running a few minutes over what we have promised everyone. So perhaps this is a good time to say thank you. For attending.
Great. Well, this was just as fun as I was expecting. Thanks, Jamie, and to everybody for being here today. Again, go and get that forecast, see how much revenue you're leaving on the table as we have this huge historic boom in e-commerce. And then, yeah, get a demo before Black Friday. Get this live, whether, no matter what you do, get it done, because really you can't argue with the evidence. It's all there. So thanks, guys. And yeah, we'll talk to you on the other side.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for attending. We appreciate it. And feel free to reach out.